Hello everybody and welcome to your Calgary real estate market update for May. The last 30 days have seen a lot of really interesting things happen inside our real estate market, and today I'm going to take you through all of the headlines that matter from the federal level, the provincial level, and the municipal level. And then I'm also going to share with you my take on the hot off the presses sales statistics from the Calgary Real Estate Board. So are you ready to get updated? I hope so, because I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's do this. Okay, so first up, Calgary has a new slogan now. It used to be a part of the energy. Well, we decided that wasn't good enough for us anymore, and so it's been changed to Calgary, welcome to Blue Sky City. I don't know how I feel about this right now, to be honest. I didn't really think we needed a new slogan, but we got one anyway. I'd be curious to hear what you think of it. I'm sure we're going to see this more and more, but I guess we'll just see how this kind of lands with everyone. But welcome to Blue Sky City, Calgarians. In some good news, the TMX Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion is finally up and running right now. It's moving an additional 590,000 barrels per day of bitumen from Alberta out to the West Coast, providing our energy producers here with more export capacity, which is certainly good news for our market here, okay? This is on top of the 3.3 million barrel capacity that we had already, so a significant upgrade, nearly 20%, all of which I think is really good news for the Alberta economy. So much so that ATB is saying that, hey, you know what? Alberta is generally in good shape despite all of these uncertain factors that we have out there with respect to inflation that we're hearing, food prices, housing prices, all that, okay? But what's good news about this, and one of the reasons why ATB is saying Alberta's in good shape, is that real wages are rising faster than expenses or inflation here in Alberta. Okay, so you can see here we're up by nearly 4.1%, and inflation in a little gray graph down here is down at 3.7. Okay, so while it's tight, we're still outpacing inflation, and this is a big reason why so many people are moving to Alberta from other parts of the country, because there's genuine opportunities for progression here, okay? Doesn't mean we're cheap though. We're the 5th most expensive city to live in here in Calgary, or Canada rather, but we're still significantly cheaper than the major markets in Ontario and in BC. So this is a study put together by RateHub where, you know, they look at the sales prices, but they also look at how much a household would have to earn in order to afford those prices at the prevailing lending rates, okay? So based on March's numbers, if you were in Calgary, you would need to have a household income of $120,000 per year to buy at the average sale price here. But that's quite a bit less than what it would be in Vancouver, where it's $232,000, or Toronto, where it's $217,000. Okay, so an interesting study here that shows how Calgary is doing and how we are within our affordability picture. Now, to try and maintain this advantage, we have a landmark hearing happening down at City Hall right now, the time of shooting this video. It's been going on for, I believe, 9 days now. Over 700 people have come in to give their 2 cents to the city council and the mayor about whether or not Calgary should change its default zoning from allowing 1 dwelling unit to allowing 4 dwelling units. Okay, so I'm not going to get into all the details on this now. We've done a little bit of that before. If this motion gets passed, we will certainly do a deep dive into what this would mean. But this is obviously a hot button issue that's generating a lot of conversation, not just in Calgary, but provincially and nationally as well. All right. So going back to last fall, when this idea was first heavily discussed at council in September and October, shortly after this was debated, the federal government stuck their nose into this and said, hey, you know what, Calgary, if you guys go and make these changes, we're going to give you $228 million to help with your housing construction and development and housing industry. But you must end this exclusionary zoning. There's some strings attached to this money coming from the federal government down to the municipal government. And what that triggered was a little bit of standoffishness from the provincial government, where they said, hey, you know what, we don't like you doing that, Ottawa. You're not allowed to just go around us and talk direct to our cities. We think you're overstepping with that. And you know what? We're not going to stand for it. And we're going to do something about that. So Daniel Smith and the Conservatives in Alberta have put a bill forward that basically says, hey, cities in Alberta, if any of you want to take money from the federal government, you got to come and ask us first, all right? We're the gatekeepers. We control you, and any interactions from the federal government need to work through the provincial government. They can't go around us and work with you guys directly, okay? So while I can understand the power play move here from the provincial government and wanting to stand up to Ottawa and all that, I really don't like it getting in the way of funding, making its way from the feds to municipalities that actually have to deal with this affordable housing issue. Okay, now it gets worse from there, because in addition to putting that bill forward, the UCP has also said, we're going to put forward a bill that's going to allow us, if we feel the need to, at the provincial level, to remove an elected official from office if we think that person needs to go. Okay, so it's a huge power play here and a big change with the municipal government structure here in Alberta, because now the provincial government just can basically come in and kick anybody out if they feel that they need to do so. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about that. I do feel that's a little bit of an overreach. But anyways, now the provincial government has the power to do so. They also introduced the potential for political parties at the municipal government level. Okay, now we haven't seen this in Calgary, but it has existed in other cities in Canada. But what it basically means is you could have a political party, or you could have candidates in each ward that are affiliated with one another because they share beliefs about how the city should do business in certain things. Okay, now this is actually kind of encouraging to me because rather than having a whole bunch or 15 individual councillors saying here's what I would do and what I stand for, now there could be themes that could be adopted from various groups, and those groups could have the chance of all getting in at the same time and really moving things quickly through the municipal government. So let's just see how all of that unfolds, but certainly some interesting times here within Alberta politics. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about market update here now. So last month, the pricing, $598,000 or thereabouts. That was up 11% year over year from where we were this time last year. Now in May, we've got $604,000 as our average sales price. We've pushed past the $600,000 barrier now, and that's up 10% from where we were last month. So we're basically hitting the repeat button again here, guys, with another really strong month behind us, and it doesn't look to be slowing down at all. As soon as we turned the corner into 2024, our market got moving, all right? We went from 570 to 572, 585, 597, $603,000 now, and sales have crept up all the way along as well. So that's good to see, but it's still very hot for this time of year, and really tight numbers there for buyers. We're in such a seller's market right now that there's less than 1 month of supply again. It's the same story that it was last month. Okay, last month, 0.95 months worth of supply. This month, 0.94. All right, if we had no new inventory hitting the market, Calgary would sell out in a month. All right, that is really, really tight market conditions and tough to do business in. With respect to each of the individual segments, look at them. Every one of them is up by double-digit numbers here. Some of them up by some big double-digit numbers from where we were this time last year. All right, nearly $750,000 for a detached house in Calgary, $668 for semi-detached. Row house pricing is now $458,000, up nearly 20% year over year. Now, if the blanket rezoning is approved, it's going to be the row house segment that stands to benefit the most, all right? You'll now be able to build small little townhouse complexes in the inner city where you couldn't do this before. I think that's a good thing for our makeup because $458,000 is quite affordable, and most of the time, a townhouse has similar size and similar bedroom counts to a small starter home, all right? So I think this is a good thing if we can get more of this type of asset class being built within our market. With respect to sales, last month we had 2,664 sales. This month, 2,881 sales. Last month we had just under 3,200 new listings. This month we've got just under 3,500 new listings. So this is good news to start to see more listings hitting our market right now to hopefully take a little bit of pressure off for our buyers that are out there. They're trying to get into the market. But it's the same story as last month, and I'm not so sure it's going to get any better as we head into the traditionally very busiest months of the year, that spring and early summer market segment. If you look over here on the far right-hand side of this graph, you can see what I'm getting at here, where we've got more sales than we have inventory, all right? Less than 1 month's worth of supply. That's such tight market conditions. In fact, tighter than it was at any time at all throughout all of last year. Now we've had 2 months like this back to back. So really challenging out there for buyers. It's challenging for sellers too. Most time you're selling a place so you can go buy something else. Doesn't necessarily make it any easier. So if you're in the market to buy or sell a piece of real estate and you need the advice of a bona fide professional, well, hey, look, we'd love to help you out here at Redline Real Estate. I really hope that you found this update to be informative. It would be awesome if you could share some of your thoughts in the comments below or give us a like to the channel. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next month.